Hi guys, this is Lisa, an occupational therapist specialized in Palawan therapy, master degree in autism spectrum disorder. And like every Wednesday, I'm connected live to talk with you and to read you or to share some of my experience being an OT and working with children with special needs. Sorry for a small delay. Normally we are at 7:30. I would like to first start with this live by answering two questions that I've got during this week of parents that are, I always say in my lives that you can go through the videos, leave messages and comments if you would like to contact me directly as well, and you would like to share some of your, questions or whatever, you can always do. And hi. So basically, one mom was asking me that we were talking in one of the topics that I was having in one of the lives. Like I'm saying, every Wednesday we are connecting and we are, I'm dedicating some time here to chat with you and to obviously answer your questions. One of the mom was asking me regarding crawling position and crawling phase because her baby is still 8 months old and she's not doing the crawling phase. Just to fresh up a little bit, as an occupational therapist, I work with children with special needs with different difficulties, right? That's I already said. And sometimes we do have children who do not pass through crawling phase. So one thing to take in consideration is to understand the reason why. Is it because we don't expose the child for crawling, or is because there is some maybe difficulties in tonicity, that the child is not able to crawl, which sometimes interferes a lot. Give me 1 second. My daughter has Prader-Willi syndrome. Her posture is not good, remain in lordosis. What to do? Thank you for connecting, Rahul Panchal. Sorry for my pronunciation. I had an opportunity to work with Prader-Willi syndrome long time ago, and yes, if the posture is not good, I would like to answer your question. I will answer your question, then I will come back to the crawling position, right? The postures are very important to change them constantly. So if the child is preferring tummy time, we have to try to face on the back. If the child is preferring back, or so staying on the back, we have to constantly work on the opposite. I also recommend, depend on the child, depend on the age. So I don't know how old is your daughter, if you could answer. Depends on the age. Rolling, it's one of these great skills and positions that stimulates the nerve system and the vestibular system. So in case if you're having difficulties with posture, rolling, tummy time, different positions of balancing and working with weight, on one hand or the other, you can always compensate this difficulty of staying or on the tummy or on the back. But this is very, very, very frequent, okay? So this is not for the first time that I'm hearing. She's 3 years old, so definitely at 3 years old, I don't know how she worked before, but if it will be my case and I will start to working with her, I will definitely try to do as much as possible changing the position. I'm not telling you to stay 24 hours on her and trying to change as much as possible, but yes, time to time, if you see that she's doing an activity, perhaps now it can be in one position and then we can change it to the other. What are doing PT but not able to find OT? Yes. So during PT, so physical therapists, PT it goes for physical therapists, they are able to work on this, more from physical point of view. But an occupational therapist, we are also very useful, and we try to always incorporate different positions. You can, unfortunately here I will not be able to show you how exactly to work, but I'm pretty sure that if you don't have an occupational therapist by, Maybe you can use a therapy ball. Could be one of my suggestions, Rahul Panchal, that you could use a therapy ball, or you can use a peanut ball, which is look like a peanut, and you could put your child on the tummy, on the back, on the side, and work on these positions. I'm pretty sure that your physical therapist already is doing this, and if not, an occupational therapist, this is what they will do. And we will be doing also a lot of heavy activities. For me to talk more, it's a little bit different because I don't know your kid, but definitely for the age, I would suggest you as an occupational therapist, try to work as much as possible in different positions. Try to push her a little bit through her limits, in the sense of engage her in different activities, so she needs to change and rotate and change the focus and the attention, definitely. But something that we use a lot is therapy ball, peanut ball, maybe a scooter board. That's also fantastic to be on the tummy or on the back or seated, and having vestibular movement while walking forward, backward, etc. I mean, walking, sitting on the board and pushing. Activities like that. But I'm pretty sure that you have also a lot of videos online. You can check it out. However, I will definitely suggest you to go for an occupational therapist. I am going to be back to my answer to the mom at the beginning of the video that I was starting, is that I know that crawling position is very important, and I highly encourage the parents and therapists to work on crawling position independently. What is your age? You are 3 years old, 2 years old, 6 months old, 6 years old. The crawling position is our milestone, and for that reason our brain is made with a lot of different structures, and we have milestones that will help our nerve system to develop. For a reason, we have a milestone after milestone after milestone happening. It is not skipping milestones the way how the child will improve, right? But it's true that sometimes you will have children who will not crawl, or children who will not do so much sitting and or maybe dragging face, right? They will kind of like in 1 week immediately go from one position to the other. There is, for example, a very famous milestone. It's a bear walking position, which we called like a monkey or macaco, and not all the kids pass through, and that's fine. It's not meaning that there is something wrong, because I felt that this mom said like, oh, but definitely if I have a patient who is 8 months old and there is no crawling, I, as an occupational therapist, will definitely suggest you to work on crawling, definitely. But before to go on crawling, I would make sure that there is a good head control, that there is good rolling, there is good tummy position, back position, and then see how we can reinforce and improve actually the crawling. My daughter skip crawling now at this age. How to do this? Well, like I was telling you, it doesn't matter at what age your child didn't crawl. And for example, now if she is 3 years old, I will definitely still put her on her 4 and still work on the position of 4, so on her knees and on her hands. And try to work on activities on her 4, or otherwise, for example, something very useful is I use my legs. I put the child on the tummy, on my legs, and I have an activity close to me or whatever, so the child is kind of transitioning between being flat on the floor and going a little bit up. We can use cushions, we can use balls to put the child on the tummy, but very important that the knees touch the floor. So it's super important that whenever you are trying to work on crawling positions, your knees, the knees of the child, needs to touch the floor, okay? And the hands. So there is this representation of the position on 4. That's crawling basically. Obviously, this is standing position. It means that your child is basically standing in 4, and she is doing not the crawling, actually, she is just doing the position. the way how to promote the crawling, unfortunately you will need to look for an occupational therapist or a physical therapist who can help you to bring you different ideas of how we can actually reinforce that crawling position. Swings helps a lot, because for crawling, in order for us to move forward, we need to have a very good vestibular system settled down. And we have to have attention, we have to have head control, we have to have strength in our hands, we have to have very good hips. So all of this, it's important. You have to first check all of that and then see from which point we can actually move forward. She dragged her legs while crawling. Okay, so that's great. If she's dragging her legs, that means that she's helping out. What we can do is maybe leave the child to continue crawling, and you are staying behind, and you can help with the legs, start to move her a little bit faster. So you are kind of like stimulating the crawling, helping her, pushing her a little bit, not too much, to forward, and to stimulate that more fluent and flexible movement. Yes, of course. Yeah, I can share some videos if you can help me. Yes, definitely. You can contact me. I always say that. You can contact me on my social media. You can contact me through YouTube. On my YouTube channel, you have all my social media links. So you can definitely send me your videos, your story, whatever. I can check it out. Yes, I have. I'm just going to read, guys, for those who are connected. I have changed many therapies, but not getting any results. That, unfortunately, it happens a lot. So just going to give me 1 second. This is unfortunately, this happens a lot because not all the therapists are maybe specialized so much in physical intervention, sensory intervention. So sometimes it's like everything, right? You don't always like the same teacher or the doctor or whatever. You will have therapists who are more for your taste or click with your daughter, no? And sometimes it doesn't happen. Now she can walk, so she prefers to walk, but like she's chasing herself. Yes, because many times it happens that when the child skips some of the phases, the walking, obviously the child prefers to walk, because the independency that you gain once you stand up and you start walking, it's crazy, right? Because the child can do a lot of things. However, the walking sometimes is not accurate, doesn't come accurate because the balancing didn't settle properly and the coordination didn't settle properly. The reason why it's important to roll, because of coordination. The reason why it's important to drag, it's because drag herself like in a commando crawling, or I call it like crocodile crawl. It's because it's coordination. The reason why we work on crawling, because of coordination. So we make sure that the child does all these activities. So when the child starts to walk, feels 100% comfortable. What happened that sometimes when we skip these phases, obviously we might end up having a little bit of balancing issues, we might have difficulties in coordination, etc. That's not meaning that we will never be able to work on it, because like I always say, physical intervention and physical difficulties are easier to settle than, for example, mental or cognitive, or maybe, for example, let's say everything that has to do with learning, speech, etc. Because those skills are not touchable, right? They are more here. Everything that is physical, everything that has to be with tonicity, coordination, balance, sensory exposure, we can fix it and we can work on it if we know how to. So that's another thing. So yes, definitely you can send me your videos and contact me through my social media, and definitely I will be happy to help you. Like I was saying before, parents, don't freak out if the child doesn't crawl. It is not meaning that it's something extremely bad. It just means that, well, somehow the nervous system of your baby or child didn't feel maybe, or wasn't ready, or maybe the exposure wasn't enough and the child felt so comfortable that when they started to explore the walking, there is no need for crawling. Then we have the opposite cases. Sometimes we have children who will be crawling a lot. They will be really using the maximum of the month to crawl, and then when we are like, okay, let's work on the walking, they are so comfortable crawling that they take longer to walk. We will be also working on stimulating the walking. It's like, okay, we got it. We understand that you like to crawl. We understand that you feel comfortable. You're still independent, but we need to walk because the age, the nerve system is pushing for you to walk actually. And it's important. It's important for the hips. It's important for the stability and balancing that the child reach these milestones accordingly. But like I'm saying, it's not meaning that if it has to be at 1 year 2 months and it happens at 1 year and 5 months, it means that something is wrong. Okay, just precaution, and that's it. And I always say that whenever you have some doubts and you are not sure, and maybe you are worried, or you read a lot of things now online and you are like, oh, okay, I heard this one talking about this and this and this, you can always consult your pediatrician, and then obviously you can have an expert view of an occupational therapist or a physiotherapist or physical therapist or speech therapist, whoever you think that could answer some of your questions, right? So we don't end up maybe over worrying for nothing. So her shoulder girth and her hips are very weak. Can you suggest some exercise at home which I can do at home? So I think it will be the best that you can send me your videos and I can see your child, and I can in general give you some advices, because otherwise it's going to be too detailed, in the sense of I don't know her, I didn't see her, and it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to give you some activities. But the reason why her hips are weak, it's because maybe we didn't reinforce with other activities, even in standing, for example. If you're working with a physical therapist, for sure these questions, they can be answered by a physical therapist. But everything that has to be for hip stability, I will suggest to work with vibrating platforms, so where the child can stand up and vibrate. Activities where you require shifting the weight from one leg to the other. So for example, like staying on one foot, balancing on a board, balancing on a spiky cushion. We could be doing activities on I don't know if you know what is a froggy position. We call it the froggy position. So basically it's a position of sitting on our feet, right? And we call it like standing and sitting. So basically the child sits down on its feet and has to stand up without any tiptoeing or any effort. So this type of activities will reinforce always the hips. You can add always weights. So weights will help to gain a little bit more of muscles, and continue working on this. But definitely if you're working with a physical therapist, I'm pretty sure that some of these activities you're already doing it. But like I said, it will be better if you could send me the video so I can check it out and I can give you a little bit more of better advice, more accurate. The other topic that I wanted to talk to you today, it was about hypertonia and hypotonia, which can be easily linked with crawling situation. And what we were just talking about, the daughter of Rahul, know that we were having like different physical difficulties and what to do. The tonicity interferes a lot, and sometimes happens that I have children who will come for the consultation and they will not, the parents will not know that actually the child has hypotonia or hypertonia. And sometimes, so the parents will come with the difficulty, maybe, listen, my child doesn't sit, doesn't hold the head, or doesn't tolerate food inside of the mouth because the mouth is completely open all the time, or because the posture is really not good, etc. And it has to be with the tonicity. And like I think I already mentioned in one of my lives, because I really like it, we have to be very careful to pay attention if your child has hypotonia or hypertonia. Obviously, when we are not capable to keep food inside of the mouth is constantly open. We are sleeping with the mouth open, for example, or everything is soft. There is no, like, you can feel that the muscle, the tonicity, it's weak. We are talking about hypotonia, low muscle tone. When we are on the opposite side, when we are extremely stiff, or sometimes we tense too much, or the child is doing something, and you can feel that he is putting like the 100% of the effort, and even though you have maybe a warm bath, or maybe you do some massages, etc., you feel that he is constantly, the tone is constantly like in stress. This is when we are talking about hypertonia. For example, children with cerebral palsy might have hypertonia or hypotonia, but most of the time I will be facing children with hypertonia. Children who suffered from neurological difficulties, disorders from the birth, will have also this difficulty in tonicity. And in hypotonia, low muscle tone, we need to boost the muscles. So obviously we have to do a lot of activities to make sure that the structure of the whole body remains strong. So for example, like I was saying before, a lot of weight, a lot of deep pressure, a lot of proprioceptive activities, and a lot of physical exposure, it's important. When we are talking in hypertonia, when it's like that stressful muscle, but constantly, we have to do the opposite. We have to teach the body how we can relax, how we can actually use calming activities, calming tools, which type of massages or maybe brushes, or how or when to do them in order to relax the tonicity. So when we go for therapy, because we will still have to maybe go for therapy, the therapist can work on the opposite instead of stimulating. In any case, it's very difficult because whenever you go for occupational therapy, physiotherapy, physical therapy, you are activating the muscles of your body. So obviously, if your child has hypertonia, it's going to be very difficult to say like, okay, just do nothing, let's relax the kid during 1 hour. You're not going to do that. You still want that your child works on maybe coordination or balancing or attention, sitting posture, etc. But the way that you will present the activities will be completely different. So you have to be very careful if your child is having any difficulties with hypertonia or hypotonia and how this interferes. And if you have questions, please consult always your therapist, because certain activities, certain maybe tools are are against actually the tonicity of your child. This is for example for balancing issues when the child starts to walk. Sometimes because of the hypotonia, because the tonicity of the muscle is low, is going to make it more harder for the child to keep balance and to walk or to stand, just standing position, because our hips are not surrounded by group of muscles that are ready to hold our weight. So the hypotonia will affect a lot. For example, holding the head. Many children will have with the head facing down or to the side. It's because our tonicity also is not helping, because there is not enough tonicity in the back muscles or the neck, etc., that can pull and keep our posture nice and straight. So it's very important that you check this as well as a general suggestion. Like I'm saying, if you're working with an occupational therapist or a physical therapist, physiotherapist, it's super, super important. There are a lot of different activities that we can be doing to gain hypotonia, so to improve hypotonia or to reduce hypertonia, but definitely the best is first of all to understand if your child is having tonicity issues, and in case If you know that your child is having tonicity issues, then which type it is and what can we do. For hypertonia, for example, I suggest a lot like warm bath, oils and massages in the feet and the hand. We use the sensory brush, which if you work with an occupational therapist, if you ask for a Wilberger brush or a sensory brush, they will be able to guide you. We use a lot of vibration, like I was saying, suggesting to Rahul, his daughter, for hips, and not only the hips, vibration helps a lot. Helps to stabilize, to move, to shake a little bit the muscles, and to, bring another type of sensory input actually to the nervous system, and it's super useful, you know. Like I was telling you in other videos, we have a lot of sensory systems taking care of basically our daily life, of our awareness, our abilities to communicate, to be surrounded by people, to be seated, to be, interacting, eating, etc. So we have to be very careful that when we are working with a child, we have to take this in consideration all the time. The child is not only, I am only working on balancing. No, you will never be working only in balancing or only in coordination or in fine motor skills or in color recognition. You will always have a group of skills that you will be always targeting, and then depends on what is your priority. You will be focusing more towards what is your priority. But like I said before, in a therapy room, I definitely suggest, and I always work the same, I take the child as a whole and I try to get the maximum from every single response. So if I plan an activity, the activity doesn't go my way, and the child responds differently, I will see how I can get that as favor towards me, and I will say, okay, we didn't manage this activity, but we managed something else, and it's good and gives me good results. For example, today I was working with a child about feeding, and 2 weeks ago when we started, he wasn't taking, 3 weeks ago with the yogurt, he wasn't taking the yogurt, but now he's taking the yogurt, and I'm super proud and I'm super happy for his success, and that he is doing so great. So now we move to the sandwich with some cream cheese, etc. And I was planning to do sandwich and banana and maybe do some other tactile activities, and sometimes the session goes by very fast, the hour flies, it's like literally. And I said, okay, there is no point to stress yourself. We go step by step. The child is tolerating the bread sandwich with cream cheese. Good, we start with that, and maybe next time we can achieve the banana, etc. So this is just an example that sometimes you will be preparing some activities because you want to work on this, but depends how the child is feeling, how the day it is, and how the child is showing you towards your activities what he is or she perceiving. You might need to change your objectives and your expectations. It's very important that when you do the first consultations, evaluations, assessments, anything for the first time, you check hypertonia or hypotonia. And if you are a parent who are watching this video and you're like, maybe that's the reason why my child has difficulties not yet to walk, or is constantly keeping drooling. For example, drooling, it's one of the signs as well, or keeping the mouth open, or keeping the foot, and the foot is falling down. Maybe actually we have hypotonia in the cheeks, and we are having hypotonia in the face, and we have to actually work on that muscle to see how we can gain those muscles, to wake them up and to stimulate them so we can improve in food. Okay, so this is as a general suggestion. And that's all for today. I was having 2 questions. One question was about the crawling. Another question, if I'm not mistaken, it was about the last video. As I was telling you, every Wednesday we connect here live. And last Wednesday I was publishing a video about behavior management. And I also publish it in my YouTube channel, which I invite you to go and to check it out, and obviously give me your support. I always appreciate your subscribes, likes, questions, whatever. I am super thankful and happy that you are here, and I hope that this is helping some of you. I was having a question about reward system. I know that last week when we were talking, I said that I will speak about reward system, but I felt the urge to talk about hypotonia, and the crawling, because I know that a lot of parents have difficulties with milestones, and it's very complicated to understand what I should have, what I should not, what should be there, what not. So I wanted just to dedicate today about a little bit about more milestones, crawling phase, hypertonia and hypotonia. But behavior management is not something easy to manage. If you see that your child is acting sometimes with the food strangely, and you see that it's not sensory, you see that it's slightly behavior, consult a behavior therapist. That's the reason why they exist. First of all, you have obviously occupational therapists like myself and other therapists who are available for online services, and maybe the occupational therapist with who you're working. But you also have other therapists like the ABA therapists who are actually trained for that, and they can help you out, and they can maybe give you some other suggestions, because this topic is really, really popular. I have a lot of parents and a lot of questions about kids who can display behavior while eating but will not display maybe in other situations. And I have a couple of kids who honestly speaking is nothing about behavior, it's nothing about sensory, it's purely behavior, the reason why they are not eating certain food. But for me to know that, it requires the experience, the knowledge, and also the fact that I can see the child and I can observe myself. When you parents, you can see that you are not managing, please reach out to therapists. That's the reason why we are here, and we exist for a reason, to help you out and to guide you, etc. Because behavior is difficult. I invite you to watch the video. I also published a course about behavior management. So if you would like to join the course, it's available in Udemy, and you can find the link in the description box of the behavior management course. I can also post it later on here. Inform yourself. That's the reason why internet now is available. We have too many things available. We have, situation like this one. This is a little bit the reason why I'm doing this project, to be there for you, to be available, so you can connect, chat with me, ask your questions, and I will be very happy as much as I can to help you out. I'm going to talk about a little bit more about reward system for next week for sure. Like I said before, today I wanted to focus a little bit on hypotonia because it's a very important topic, and I don't want to have any parent going to any consultation without knowing if the child has maybe difficulties with tonicity. Okay, that will be not good. Okay, so I'm thankful for those who joined this conversation, for those who connected and asked questions, for those who also stayed or not, or watch after the videos are always there. So if there is anything that you would like to, you didn't understand because sometimes I go too fast or whatever, you can always come back and check them out. Thank you very much for watching. I truly appreciate your following on my social media, especially Instagram, and the account of Panacea Therapy Center, which is my clinic, and also my YouTube channel. Thank you.